Wealth, fame, power. The great multimedia king Pokemon had attained this and everything else the world had to offer. And in their still living words said, "You want my formula? It's yours, if you can find it." And thus started the great Befriendathon era. The likes of Digimon, Bakugan, Beyblade, and Dagadar took me and my generation by storm. And yet, all of these legendary franchises are nothing more than a household name among my generation. By 2014, there was nothing but Pokemon. Until the next year, 2015, when a new challenger threw their hat into the ring. Yokai Watch, a Befriendathon unlike any before it. Legendary befriendable monsters of varying strengths and adorability. Teams of 6 to become the strongest Yokai Watch owner in the game. And to save the world from an evil threat. Except that is where its similarities with Pokemon truly end. Yokai Watch, a game that I somewhat hold near and dear, or a franchise, I guess, that I somewhat hold near and dear to my heart, because I used to watch the show with my sister, is something that I've recently rediscovered. It really is kind of like Pokemon in the sense that there are small little guys that you can collect like friends and fight them and make them fight, and you try to get stronger, and eventually you try to save the world a multitude of times over. But I'm being serious where that kind of is where the similarities end. And that is where my nerd normal voice ends. For this is not about me gushing about a long-lost interest. No, this is me playing the game for the first time. This is the story of the all-powerful Zonk Adams. But nerdy normal voice is back. You gotta forgive me, because for the first several hours of the game, I wasn't sure if I was going to record it or not. So I played up to a couple bosses, and so you're going to have to live with my artistic rendition of what happened. This is the legend of Zonk Adams. So, at the beginning of the game, yeah, I was just kind of chit-chatting with my friends, talking about bugs, and I wanted a rare bug because my friends were making me feel inadequate because I don't have any rare bugs. So I looked for some rare bugs, and then I went up to a mountain for more bugs, and I found some. One was a little cool, but it wasn't rare, so I really didn't pay it much attention. And then I went deeper into the woods, still looking for a rare bug, and I found the gotcha machine. I lost my life to gambling. No, I just got a ghost. And a watch. And turns out that funky little cicada bug thing that I found is actually a yokai whose name I completely forgot. Not even kidding. The ghost's name is Whisper. He's a butler. He's supposed to kind of help me out because, you know, I'm only like 12 years old. So he told me to look in some bushes with my new cicada with a sword. And I found a depressed bird. And it attacked me. And it's my friend now. And then when I got home, my parents were fighting. And Whisper told me it was a yokai and not a loveless marriage. And I wanted to believe him, and I do believe him, because I found a black sludge thingy that made people sad and argue with each other. But it was really strong, so I had to run away and make friends. I found one that was like a spike ball with teeth and an eye, like a sea urchin, named Cough Cough. And then another one that made you depressed as well. But after I found them, I was told by Whisper that there was another pretty strong yokai near the fish store. So I went to the fish store and I saw a cat get hit by a car. But it was no ordinary cat. In fact, it was a little red cat with 2 fiery tails. It was the mascot, Jibanyan, whose design I kind of like a little more than Pikachu, but I also like Pikachu a lot. Anyway, with those, with my sword cicada, sad bird, sad mosquito, spike, and cat, I went to go beat up the sludge. And then it introduced me to the coolest parts of the game. It really introduced me to the combat system as a whole, because I had more friends. With the party of 6, unlike Pokemon, you have to waste a turn switching them out, and you only have really one on the field at any given time. But in Yokai Watch, you have 3 on the field. They're on a little wheel, and you press L or R or spin with the stylus to alternate out what combinations you want, which I think is a really cool idea because that allows you to spread damage more evenly. And in the fight with Dismaralda, a sludge thing that definitely introduces status buffs and debuffs, it teaches you about purifying yokai. You have to switch the yokai from the front position, combat position, to the back position where it can't get hit, and then you have to play a minigame, be it tapping with precision, tapping randomly, or spinning. I don't like the spinning. But once I defeated Dismaralda, her husband, Happier, showed up. He is the opposite of her. While she is a sad sludge, he is a happy big fart cloud, and I love him. Dismaralda, now with her husband again, stopped my parents from arguing and made me her friend. She's actually a pretty unique unit. Whenever she gets an in-spirit, the purification debuff thing, or buff from an ally, she gets an omni boost to all of her stats. And until now, I didn't think to use inspiriting like that on the ally buffs on her, so I don't know if she gets an omni buff from that. Anyway, with my parents now genuinely showing remorse for what they said to each other and just being healthy about the relationship, talking to each other, I went to bed. And then the next day, I learned that my town was over sacred seals that, if unlocked, could make an evil yokai super powerful and scary. So me and Whisper protected it from a bird, something else, and another thing. But on that third thing, we didn't exactly do it. And this giant, dope-ass snake-looking monster, or not snake, hydra-looking thing, the first boss of the game, sick as fuck, came out, and we had to fight him. But because he's a boss, you can't befriend him, which sucks. But this weird-looking ninja with like water dragon thingies on their back, was like protected me from an attack. So that was really cool of them. Whisper, and then I went to sleep again. And then we went to a place called the Timers and More to upgrade my Yokai Watch to find the stronger guys. And that's what I did. I got all the parts that we needed, but the guy wasn't feeling like it. The guy is also a yokai too, but he wasn't feeling like it, so I had to find him his underwear, which was stolen by a pig dinghy in the bathhouse, which was the second boss of the game. We're getting close to where I started recording. Then my friend, his name is Bear, because he's really big. He lost his mother's ring, and his dad got really mad, and he told me that he overheard his parents talking about them doing okay without her, and then 2 divorce stories within the first few chapters of the game. But my friend knew where he lost the ring, so all we had to do was find a guy that could swim really good, and we found a kappa, you know, the Japanese creature that is known for stealing children. But he was alright, he was kind of cool actually. So we got him to the lake and all, and then he started swimming around. This is actually where I started recording. He started swimming around a lake, making a lot of noise, which disturbed the great catfish king of the pond. The catfish king's name is SV Snaggerjag, which is a weird name, but with my incredible party of naked guy with a toothpick, cicada with a sword, silly little cat guy, sludge that makes people's parents get divorced, old grandpa that's really hungry, and creature of the sickness. I was able to win the battle, get the ring back, and also get the little Kappa on my team. One thing I haven't told you yet is each yokai has attacks on their own. They can loaf around and not do anything. They can attack. They can buff or debuff. But you don't really have any control over that. However, there is one thing that they all have called a Sultimate move, which you play a little minigame, which is tapping, drawing, spinning, or that's all. You will either grant... anything could happen. You could give massive healing. You could give... you could do really powerful attacks. That's really all that it is. After we got the ring back, and we defeated the Catfish King SV Snaggerjag, it turns out that the ring was nothing special. It was just my friend's mom who won it in the gacha machine, and his dad is stupid. And her mom was just his mom was just going to a class reunion for like a week. What Dad forgot. So, my dad forgot his work papers at home because he was tailed by a funky little hat guy named Wazat. He makes you forget stuff, just as he made me forget many a thing that I will tell you now. Yokai come in 6 ranks, E through S. E, D, C, B, A, and S at the very top. They also come in a handful of tribes, being tough, brave, slippery, mysterious, shady, eerie, charming, and heartful. When 2 or more are on the front lines, right adjacent to each other, they give each other a boost. I don't know all of them, but I do know that brave is a strength boost, charming is a speed boost, eerie is an in-spirit boost, which means they'll debuff more, and heartful is a recovery boost, so you'll heal more when you recover. Those are all the ones I know. But that also brings me to legendary yokai.
This was a lot of information this idiot forgot.
Regardless, you have to catch specific yokai to unlock legendary yokai, and you just get them right off the bat because you put in the work, you get them. And you have to catch very specific yokai, and there are only 2 that you can get before the post-game. One of them essentially being a Jibanyan, but really, really strong. His name is Shogunyan, and he's blue. And I like him a lot because he's a very cute little guy with a sword. Anyway, back to my dad. But before I get my dad his paperwork, it's time to unlock Fusion. Fusion, I think, is a great mechanic to have in a game like Yokai Watch because it differentiates it more from Pokemon, especially when yokai can evolve through level up, which is how I got the funky looking naked guy with a toothpick. Now, Jibanyan has 2 fusion evolutions, one being Thornyan, which is a cute little thorn guy, and the other being a cool guy named Badanyan. Which brings me to the third thing. I say the third thing as if I had mentioned bringing it up earlier. How you befriend yokai. At the end of a battle, there's a super fucking small chance that a yokai will approach you and give you their medallion. And it is like 3%, I think. You can increase that chance by giving them food they like. So, I had to go out of my way for several hours to get a guy named Ruff Raff. The tempura shrimp-ass hole who bullied Jibanyan. But before I could do that, I had to make a gorilla out of a mochi and a Darumaka doll. But that doesn't matter. Because now, with the gorilla and the Badanyan, whom I nicknamed Tonysuke, because he's a gangster, he's Tonysuke. Anyway, to rank B, yokai. Currently, my watch rank is D. I am 2 letter ranks. I have 2 yokai that are 2 letter ranks above what I can find naturally, which is crazy. And there's a third one that I will get that is, again, 2-letter ranks higher, but that's later down the line, later down the story. So with those two monsters, and by monsters I mean fucking beasts, Badagnon's normal attack that he uses, like whenever he decides to just kick you, deals so much damage, it's insane. He deals damage on par to like a rank A yokai. His only downside is that he's a little frail. He's a glass cannon. And I used him for most of the game. Anyway, with those two monsters in tow, it's time to get my dad's paperwork. So, I go to the train station. I get the paperwork he forgot. I go to the business district, and there are a lot of them. The little hat guys that make you forget, that made me forget all of the information I didn't tell you until now. As I walk through the city, Whisper tells me the time, and I realize we only have 3 minutes left. A timer appears on screen, and I have to scramble to get my dad his shit in 3 minutes. It's easy as shit. I only got hit by one of the was that because I wanted to see what happened, and nothing happened. It just reset my position and reset the timer. Anyway, we did it. I got my dad's paperwork. He's all safe and whatnot. And then I go home and I go to sleep. I also made friends with was that, so it's really whatever. QB, the bully. Grateful for saving his job, my dad gives me with a bicycle. And for a shit ton of this chapter, like I'm talking hours, I grind for a little yokai named Helmsman, who can fuse with Armsman to make an incredibly powerful yokai that I use from the point that I get him to the end of the game really, really early. He is an A rank yokai, second from the top. And you will see him soon. I spent hours getting Helmsman, and then I decided, and also the story decided, that it was time to progress. I got Helmsman, and then I went down to Flower Road in Shoppers Row, the shopping district. It was kind of cool, honestly. I learned about something that was setting shit on fire, so we had to do something to fix that, and I met the legendary S-rank yokai Kyubi, as in the Kyubi no Kitsune, the apparent asshole whose name is in the chapter, Kyubi the bully. Kyubi calls me a little bitch and tells me to come up to the construction site at midnight to throw the fuck down. So I'm a little scared. It's an S-rank yokai, but I ain't no bitch. And I decide to go to the construction site. I need a C-rank watch for it. So I accept the C-rank quest. I beat the C-rank quest and decide, and remember, that I am trying to get Reunite. All I need now is Armsman, who is, once again, somebody I have to spend hours to grinding. I even got a little guy named Komajiro before him. Komajiro is like a dog, tiger, lion thingy. It's weird. He looks more like a dog than anything. And his older brother's name is Komo-san. They are both very cute. I have a little Komo-san figurine on my desk. I got it back when Yokai Watch was first like baby brand new. And he will be very, very important later. Anyway, I did eventually get Armsman, and I did eventually get my rank A monster Reunite. I wanted to test him out, so I went into a back alley and I fought a fuck ton of dogs with human faces, don't ask me. I don't like them at all. And as I triumphantly emerge, beating the C rank quest, I come across a rare-ish event. An event that I didn't talk about until now on purpose. An event that involves the only other legendary yokai you can get before the post game, but it is fucking hard. It's called Demon Time. Essentially, it's just like you can spend some time. The world freezes over. It's black and white. There are demons looking for you. The big demon, the legendary guy, is looking for you. But it's not that bad. I'm just a stupid idiot sometimes, and can't do things right sometimes. So I fuck it up a lot. But it can give you good items. It's a risk reward type of thing. If you get caught and you lose, you don't get the items you found. And they're like great items, like end game items. Anyway, I fail the demon time because he can one-shot every single little guy in my party, including my newly found A rank. It made me really fucking mad. And I wait for night. Once night falls, I make my way to the construction site as QB has instructed me. And upon getting there, QB turns out to be a fucking bully. QB just told us to come here to meet up with my little guy Komo-san, who's just a sweet little guy with a country accent. I don't know why they gave him a country accent, but it's adorable. I fight my way through the ramblings of the construction site, and I make friends with a magical penguin thingy. Aiden evolves into a stronger version of himself, who loses his damaging Sultimate for a speed buff Sultimate, which I'm not sneezing at. It's just him and Tonysuke already get a speed buff. Anyway, I fight through the gauntlet. I make it to the third floor, in which there are guys that I need for Shogunyan, but I did not realize it until way later, which means I could have had that little motherfucker this chapter. I think. I promise I'm not certain. On the third floor, we meet QB. I'm fully prepared to throw down. But QB explains that they're not the ones setting shit on fire. They are not the arsonists. In fact, it is a massive Onyudo named Massiface, who's not more than a little bitch. For a big-ass face, he was kind of weak. He didn't really inspirit a whole lot, so it was just a really easy laid-back fight. Easy peasy, Onyudo dead. I went home and I went to sleep. Eddie's search. So, I was approached by my rich friend Eddie. I don't know if I'd call him a friend because he was the guy that made me feel really insecure about my bug catching ability, even though he got my friend Bear to catch all of his bugs for him. Shit. Where was I going? Oh yeah, he's a rich little bitch who invited me to hang out and play games. I'm not judging him. He's a child. He doesn't understand that he's rude. But I spend a lot of time here grinding because where he lives in Breezy Hills, there is one really, really cool, or I think cool looking yokai named Benkei. He is a closet with a spear. And when the closet opens, he shoots 1,000 blades of death at you. But before that happens, I have to get the rank B quest. Starting a new day, I switched Wakappa into my team, replacing Dismeralda. Because even though she gets more powerful if she gets inspirited, she doesn't really get inspirited all that often, so she doesn't really reach her full potential. And she doesn't evolve she does. But it's a fusion, and I don't have the fusion at this point, so shut up. Anthrofusion makes it back onto the team later, so shut up even more. Anyway, with Walkappa, he has an evolution, and it's kind of cool looking. It looks strong, and it is also A rank. So, no more the merrier. We get into some combat, and Hungramps also evolves, which is incredibly nice. I just don't like what he evolves into. He loses his healing, and he looks horrifying. Also, Eddie's house is blocked by a B rank gate, so I can't even get to Eddie in the first place. So, sucks to be me, I guess. God damn. This late into the game, I learned that Komo-san, by learned I mean I looked it up, Komo-san evolves into an A rank yokai, just like Walkappa. And sadly, I do depart, or I don't depart, but I bench Aiden. Even though he was my first yokai, he's just not up to par. Plus, I can nickname another yokai after him that is much stronger. So, with 2 future A rank yokai on my team, they get to work. I came across a dude named Snartle, who is an S rank yokai, who scales with your Yokai Watch rank, and you can befriend him. So, he fucked me up really bad, and it made me really mad. So I left him alone and did not want to fight him again. But I might now that I have the post game. After questing and grinding so much, I finally got pretty up there level wise, and I got my rank B Yokai Watch. And the first yokai I got with it was Benkei. I was so fucking ecstatic, I lost my shit. But because it was so late at night, stupid Eddie's mom turned me away from the door. So, I went to sleep for the day. I finally got Benkei, even though I said he was the first yokai I found with the rank B watch. It took me a while to get him. And with Benkei in my pocket, I decided to switch out the naked guy with a toothpick, because Benkei is literally just a better version of him. He deals more damage, he has more bulk, and he's just way cooler looking than a naked man. Especially when his strongest attack is called 999 Blades. It has a base power of 18 damage per hit, and it hits 9 times. 9 times 9, 18. And it hits 9 times. That's kind of cool. Anyway, anger over. He tells me that we are not going to be playing his newly acquired video games. Fucking bitch. Instead, we are going to a museum. I take back what I said. We go there, we meet up there. We just walk around. It's cool, but it's a little boring. And as we're leaving, we hear rumors of living armor. But me and Eddie didn't see any armor on display. And Eddie, being a man of science and not supernatural, decides that let's fucking break into the place. Yeah, let's come to the museum at night and find our own way in. How? We'll figure it out. So, we stop hanging out for the day, and then comes the night, where I meet Eddie back at the park again, or back at the museum again, and he tells me, hey, find a way in, buddy. So I look around, and I find a funky little dude named Mirapo. He can teleport me. But because Eddie's not goated like me, you just can't see him. So I talk to Mirapo, and the motherfucker warps us into the museum without asking. So I thank him, Eddie cannot accept the fact that he just got teleported and thinks we dug a tunnel. And there's this kind of weird but honestly fun section where you talk to Mirapo and he teleports you to a different part of the map. It takes a little bit, but it's not unwelcome because it is pretty fun. It's fun exploring the museum at night and getting these unique encounters. And speaking of unique encounters, there are certain types of yokai that are a rare, different color variant of certain yokai. Like Benkei has one called B3-NK1. You know, cyborg is kind of cool. Cyborg closet with stab. Unique. I don't know if Jibanyan has one. I don't remember. Anyway, he's in the museum. He's the first one I fight in the museum. After feeding him some chili shrimp, as all spirit cabinets like Chinese food, and beating the ever-loving shit out of him, my favorite fucking yokai joins me for a second time. I now have both Benkei and B3-NK1 on my fucking team. It took me a while to get Benkei, but it took me one motherfucking try to get B3, and it was sick as fuck. On a side note, you can nickname yokai, you know, like Toniske, Dandy. There's a random function that I never pressed until I got Benkei or B3, and there are 4 random names when you haven't done any Street Pass stuff. And for some reason, sometimes there's just a random ass fucking name like Jose. So Benkei is now Big Sword, and B3 is Murphy, as the gods have deemed it. Nothing more of note happens. I just go in for a full heal, go to the 2nd floor to find the key to the back room, because there was no armor on display. And I learn that Murphy's ultimate move, unlike Big Sword's, fucking sucks. 999 blades, hits every single hit, deals decent damage, and has a normal crit chance. However, Murphy's, called B3-NK1 beam, or Benki beam, hits 9 times, deals the same damage, except it either has a high chance to miss or a high chance to crit. The high chance to crit isn't guaranteed, so most of the time, you're just doing normal damage with a shit ton of missing. I won. I got 2 of my favorite guy, but at what cost? Anyway, with that heartbreaking disappointment out of my chest, I find the key to the back room, and I make my way. And we make our way into the storage closet, where we find the Phantasmarai. Living armor. It looks sick as shit, but it's a boss yokai, so it can't be on my team. Plus, I already have kind of a good thing going, or fast. It's a simple boss fight, just like all the others. Break through the armor and then hit the weak spot. But the weak spot is just a little mouse. It's just a little guy. He was just a silly little man. But as has happened to every boss, his shit got fucking rocked. And it was bad. But now that the little rat is beaten, Mirapo thanks me and gives me his soul token, or soul medallion. And now I unlock teleportation. I unlock fast travel. The extreme dare. With newfound victory and a couple strong-ish guys, I decide to go to a festival with my best friends, Eddie, the bitch bear, the kind of cool guy, and Katie. She's kind of nice. I don't know her all that well. And they dare me, or they dare all of us, to break into the school and watch fireworks on the rooftop. And also find or investigate a mysterious creature that has been saying, "Wanna play?" to teachers when they are in the building late. Which is stupid, especially Eddie, who has seen mirrors come out of the blue and teleport you into a museum. Anyway, it's not a complaint. I just think it's funny that the man of science decides that it is a good idea to investigate the paranormal and expect there to be a perfect explanation. I will go my way through a window. I get some keys. I let my friends in. The voice compels them all to leave me, and I'm on my own. I wake up a Mirapo, and then I see my friend, possessed by whatever this is, walk into the bathroom, which I can't get to because it's walled off by desks, which ain't good. I find out that it's not just one spirit, but multiple. A skeleton lady named Ratel has kidnapped Barrett and stuffed him into a locker. So I find her missing rib, or I find her spare rib, and she frees Bear. I find Eddie getting serenaded by, like, a Cupid gun. Like the baby that shoots arrows, but a gun. On the piano. Anyway, Q Pistol wants me to get his sheet music because Eddie thinks his playing is fucking ass. This dude, kinda dumb, but it's understandable because this is Earth and nobody understands yokai. But Eddie is a total fucking Redditor. Bro, oh my god, have some whimsy. I finally make it to Katie, who is cornered by a massive spider, the boss of this section. A ghost that Whisper has never seen, which is deeply concerning. Because he's supposed to know every yokai in the region that he's in. This yokai's name is Tarantutor. Or Tarantutor. We fight it. It's a little annoying, but I beat it. But once it was defeated and Katie freed, all four of us met up on the roof to watch the fireworks. It was a good day. And I went to sleep.
The checkup of doom.
I get a little dragon guy. He's adorable. He's got a little dragon on his head, and he evolves into a giant green dragon that you don't get access to until the post game. So it was really more grinding quest work and leveling up. Then I remembered, oh wait, there were a legendary yokai. I should probably get that one. The one called Shogunyan. And it was pretty easy, except for the motherfucker Happy Air. I like him a lot. He's wonderful. He's delightful. Just purely design-wise, the coloring is incredible. He has such a happy face. His design is well-rounded and friendly. It's an incredibly well-thought-out and well-executed design. It's just his catch rate does not reflect that in any way, shape, or form. However, on a happy note, while Kappa reached level 32, the motherfucker turned cool. He looks like a total dweebus. And then he evolves, and it's all okay. And his name is Apak, which is just Kappa backwards. Very funny. And another unique thing about Yokai Watch is when a yokai evolves, you get to re-nickname it. And I did not re-nickname it, so it stayed Apak. The only one that was left next to evolve was Koma-san. And he evolves at level 34 or 5, I think, which is annoying, dear God. But he's strong. After Wallkappa's evolution into Apak, there was not much that I could really do except for try to get a Happy Air so I could get Shogunyan. But, Jesus Christ, that didn't happen for so long. I gave up for the day. I gave up for the day. When I came back the next day, I did some quests. I didn't even think about Happy Air until I got a little motherfucker with a literal ass for a face named Cheek Squeak. And he kind of reminded me of the Pevensey siblings' cousin from Voyage of the Dawn Treader. His name was Eustace, so I nicknamed it Cheek Squeak Eustace. Because they kind of looked similar. And for a little bit of the book, Eustace was a little ass. But that positivity was not the only thing that blessed me. With Cheek Squeak and exploring the sewer system like the rat that I am, I was happy. I was happy. I wasn't even thinking about Happy Air. I was in a great place. And then I remembered my goal. Shogunyan. Happy Air. And the final one, Castellius III. Now, Castellius, I think, is one of the cooler. Like, his design is okay. It's middle of the road. But he's kind of cool in the fact that if you get two Castellius 3s and you fuse them, you get a Castellius 2. And I think when you get two Castellius 2, you can fuse them into a Castellius 1. I did not get a Castellius 1 because that would have been a lot of work. But these are like gate guardian guys holding flags. They look like temples or fortresses. They're really cool, and they like milk. And knowing that when they fuse, you get a Castellius 2, I decided to get two of them. That was super easy. Like, it took less time to get two Castellius 3s than it did to go from Big Sword to Murphy in the museum. With more positive stuff happening, I decided, you know what? It's time to face the happy man, Happy Air. And after an entire day of trying to get him, I got him, and I was so happy. I love you, Happy Air. You're wonderful. With my main goal of getting a Shogunyan complete, my stupid ass couldn't figure out how to open the Yokai Medallion. Now, I always play the tutorials. That's an important part of understanding and having fun with the game. But I do not open the information page. And I did not get Shogunyan for the longest time. You will see what he looks like. But more importantly, Koma-san is evolving. My little blue cat dog thingy with a country accent evolved into a superhero named Komane. And with the beauty that is Murphy in the back of my mind, I think and think and think, oh, what would be a good nickname for him? I'm just kidding. I just pressed the random button a couple times. And the 4 fuck-ass names that I see are Lionheart, Damon, Pharaoh Dog, and fucking Frybrows. That was the perfect name for him. His eyebrows are on fire. Why not call him Frybrows? And while looking for another encounter, a beetle. I really like beetles. It was a beetle guy. I found the information page. I scrolled through, and I found the seal that had Shogunyan behind it. I felt so fucking stupid. I was prepared for a battle, because at that point I didn't know I just got him. But I did get him. I got Shogunyan. Easy peasy. Like, easy peasy. And I nicknamed him Angus, after one of my best friend's cats, because I think that's kind of cute. He's an adorable little guy. I don't have any pictures of him. You will never see him. Privacy is important. And now, with Shogunyan on in my inventory, I went ahead, talked to IPO, and I replaced Murphy B3 with Angus the Shogunyan. And then, honestly, I started looking more at abilities, and I saw that Koma-san's brother, who I had gotten earlier while looking for Armsman, has an ability called Omega. With adjacent Alpha yokai, his strength increases. And then I looked at Frybrowse's ability. It was the opposite, called Alpha. When with an Omega yokai, spirit increases, spell damage and whatnot. So I replaced Apak with Komajiro. I think that's his name. And he the hero Komane, or the hero Frybrows, became all the more powerful. And once again, it was time to get on that motherfucking grind. Because Shogunyan was level 1, and Komajiro was level 12 or whatever. Komajiro evolves at level 34. Hours of grinding later, I ran into a little old man named Old Fortune, who I needed for a quest. I really liked his design, and I honestly needed a support unit, so that was a support unit secured. After Old Fortune, I decided to leave the school, stop grinding for the night, and swap out some more positions. So instead of having 3 charming and 3 brave yokai, this time I decided to have 2 charming, 2 brave, and maybe a 3rd heartful yokai. As I was leaving the school, I saw the yokai radar bleep red for B, for a B rank yokai. B is decently powerful. It's in the top half of yokai. It was Old Saint Trick, the alternate coloring for Old Fortune, another heartful type. And you're never gonna guess, I fed him some milk as you would Santa, because he's Santa colored. And boy oh boy, his random names: Claus, Nick, Santa, and Kringle. I nicknamed him Crimbo after West of Loathing, one of my favorite games. And then, again, during my grinding, I found a little guy named named Lodo, like a low amount of dough. He's unfortunate. His random names, Jesus Christ. His random names were No Change, Cash, Blue Boy, and Nickels. That's horrible! So I named him Nickels. During all the grinding, I knew deep down that I was going to have to replace some party members with more support members. We're a high damage team. We don't need any more damage. 4 is enough. We need some support. With a heavy heart, even though my motherfucker has been here the entire time, I benched Tonysuke in favor of Crimbo, and I benched Benkei in favor of Lechon. I wasn't excited for it. I hated it. But it just had to be done. I was going into the end game, and support is one of the most important things you can have in an RPG. And I really did know deep down that Tonysuke, his time was running thin. He wasn't bulky enough, and he only brought damage. There wasn't much else. Big Sword and Tonysuke, especially you, Tonysuke, you were both awesome. Some of my favorite yokai ever. And if I play the second game, I will do as much as I can to get you both back on my team. Ending the sad streak, Komajiro, brother to Koma-san evolved into Komiger, like a tiger. And his nickname? His nickname was Jonathan. It was beautiful. I changed his name from Buddy to Jonathan. But at that point, I knew I was really ready to A-rank my watch and head to Nocturne Hospital for the second to last boss. I don't know what I was expecting when I went to Nocturne Hospital, but it sure as hell wasn't fucking a hospital treatment. When I first walked in there, I was greeted by a little yokai named Leadoni. They was like, "Hey, this is the hospital. Are you ready for your checkup?" So I had to go around to different rooms to get my checkup. It was an enjoyable experience, to be completely honest. Whisper was no help. He didn't realize that anything was suspicious, so God, why? You're supposed to help me, you fucking ghost. They took my height, they gave me an eye exam, and then they gave me an x-ray, and everything was prepped. They told me to speak to the director of the hospital, and he suggested surgery. I met with the director. He told me surgery was the only option because your heart was looking a little funny. I met him in the operating room, and this asshole had the gall to threaten my life. He showed me his true form, and it was honestly a really fun boss fight. He didn't deal a whole lot of damage, which wasn't a big deal. And he inspirited quite a bit, but it wasn't too much to be overwhelming and stressful. It was the perfect amount of, oh wow, I gotta do this stuff. I felt super smart because I was rotating my team super well. I felt like a genius. And the plot continues. The plot continues with something that I neglected to say because I didn't have any good recording. I didn't have very good game audio for a while. But this game has fucking voice acting. Like, just watch this cutscene.
My yokai, the wait is over. It's time to get cracking and show these humans who's boss. We'll show them we're not squidding. This is our chance to occupy the human realm. Okay, so I'm still working on my puns. If any of you have any better ideas how to express our anger to the humans, just let me know. But now our time has come!
Farewell, yokai. My friend Lucas came to my room, concerned that he was seeing the yokai just as I was. And he saw Whisper behind my back talking to me. And Whisper recognized a key that he had, that his father had given him, even though he never really knew his father. It was the key to the yokai elevator, the connection between the yokai world and the human world. So, me and Lucas went to the sacred tree, where I found the Yokai Watch and my friend Whisper. Lucas turned the key to the yokai elevator, and we went down. As we approached the path to McCracken, a yokai appeared, the same ninja yokai. It attacked, saying that my friend was our last hope against McCracken. After a hard-fought battle, I defeated Venoct with, I say hard-fought, it was easy as shit. Not only giving me their soul medallion, but Venoct told me and Lucas the truth. Venoct told me and Lucas that yokai, while they live much, much longer than humans, they still die. And several years ago, the king Enma had died. His son was hidden among the humans, so that McCracken and his group are so angry they've turned white with rage. Venoct took Lucas to keep him safe, and I faced the road ahead. I made the conscious choice to replace Old Fortune with Venoct, because Old Saint Trick is honestly just more versatile. His Ultimate can heal, deal 1 damage to him, or it can buff all of the current frontline allies' stats, which is immensely more valuable than a single one-time large heal. My party in hand, I went to the first gate against Gargaros. We did not fight, we did not clash, but he judged whether I was worthy to come closer to the Emrys throne. Gargaros is the same Oni that appears during Demon Time, so I was scared that I would have to fight him, but I was lucky. As I said, we did not fight. He judged. He judged how kind of a soul I was. I came to the second gate, with Gargaros' brother, Orgulus, staring me down, and I was worried I would not get past this gate either. He says, "So, tell me, as I see you before me, be you child or adult, King Enma has instructed that no child go any further. Answer honestly." Worried that I would not be able to face McCracken, I answered honestly. Face to face, I told him that I, Zonk Adams, was a 12-year-old kid. Then came the third great gate, Orkanos, guarding it, the powerful, the mighty, staring me down and judging me. Testing my strength, he stands back up and allows me to pass with 462 battles under my belt, and the fact that I'm still standing is a testament. I came to Emma's gate, and I stared down McCracken upon the Yokai King's throne. The disrespectful Squiggly and McCracken lunged. The fight against him was an incredibly unique and fun battle, and upon his defeat, he vowed that he would return, that he would destroy me. I did not believe him, but I made my way back to the human realm to spread the good news of McCracken's defeat, until I realized that the 3 seals around the town had been broken, and we needed to replace them. Slimamander lunges at us once more, wanting revenge for us destroying him. With a new, more powerful healer at my side, the fusion of Dismeralda and Happy Air, one of the first yokai I ever had, and one of my favorite yokai. I rocked the shit, I'm gonna be honest. I beat the shit out of him. Upon the defeat of the Slimamander, Whisper told me that the only way to recreate the seals was to make the Sakura blossoms bloom. Luckily, he had a bag of Sakura bloom on him, so that was no big deal. Except for the yokai under McCracken's command guarding the trees. Took him out easy peasy, 1, 2, 3 of them. Even with the repaired seals, McCracken had already absorbed too much power. At the yokai elevator, there was the final showdown. McCracken's true form. An incredibly hard battle. An incredibly fun battle. A battle where I had to manage so much. In the end, there really was only one yokai that I feel was worthy enough to make the final blow against McCracken. It was the yokai that I've had the longest. It wasn't Aiden or Shogunyan or anyone like that. It was Komajiro. The Pokemon, or the yokai that is on my desk, in my hands right now. The one that has been with me the longest. It was as simple as that. And with McCracken defeated, Whisper and Venoct mentioned the need to seal the yokai elevator from more yokai like McCracken. That meant the complete and total separation of the yokai world and the human world. Every yokai would go back to its world. Whisper, Jibanyan, Koma-san, all of them would return home. It was hard to watch, but I feel like it was harder for Zonk. We're two different people, after all. But this final cutscene, it wasn't incredibly emotional, but it was still a little emotional, or not very depressing or tear-inducing, but it was still a little emotional. I really enjoyed this game, and hopefully this gets enough traction to warrant me playing the second game. So, I'd be very happy if you liked the video and subscribed. I absolutely loved making this video. I loved playing Yokai Watch, and I would like to play more. There are 4 mainline games, god damn it. So, subscribe, tell me what you thought, tell me what you think I could improve on, and have a good day.
Now I'm back to my everyday life.